Hello, this is Nightline, and I'm Raymond Go. News making the headlines. Police fire tear gas as supporters cause a ruckus in Turnham.
Dan calon Perdana Menteri bagi Barisan Nasional adalah Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. This narrative ini mesti diperjelaskan sekarang juga.
Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri remains as Barisan Nasional's PM pick. Good morning. The 15th general election GE15 nomination process was tainted when a riot broke out at Dewan DSP Antanom in Turnham, Sabah on Saturday morning. However, the situation was brought under control by authorities and no loss of life was reported. The incident occurred after the Election Commission EC informed Parti Kesejahteraan Demokratik Masyarakat KDM President Datuk Peter Anthony that his nomination could not proceed due to a pending court case. This led to a huge group of unruly and dissatisfied supporters shouting in anger outside the hall and trying to barge into the nomination centre. Police had to fire tear gas to disperse the rowdy crowd when they refused to back off. Dato' Anthony said he will file a judicial review with the High Court on Monday regarding the rejection of his nomination papers. Meanwhile, Sabah Chief Minister Datuk Sri Hajiji Noor has condemned the actions of those who caused trouble in Turnham during the nomination process. He urged all political supporters and politicians to refrain from such behaviour to ensure a smooth GE15. Meanwhile, Sabah Police Commissioner Dato' Idris Abdullah said the incident involved about 300 supporters of Parti Kesejahteraan Demokratik Sabah KDM, but no arrests have been made thus far.
Kerusuhan ini berpunca apabila pihak Suruhanjaya Pilihan Raya menolak borang pencalonan Datuk Peter Anthony untuk bertanding di kerusi P181 Turnham dengan alasan masih mempunyai kes mahkamah yang belum selesai.
He said the police enforcement team, including the Light Strike Force and General Operations Force, assisted by the People's Volunteer Corps and civil defence personnel, took action to disperse them. A discussion was held between police, Dato' Anthony's counsel and an EC officer who arrived at a decision that those supporters should not act wildly and instead obey orders from the enforcement officers. Later, about 2 p.m., Dato' Anthony came out and asked his supporters to accept the EC's decision, and they dispersed. He has also lodged a report as he was not satisfied with the rejection to contest for the parliamentary seat. With nominations closed, the GE15 campaign has officially kicked off. According to the Election Commission EC, a record number of 945 candidates are vying for parliamentary seats, making the polls the most intense in the country's history. In a media conference in Putrajaya, EC Chairman Tan Sri Abdul Ghani said that no candidates have won the seats uncontested in any of the federal and state elections. A total of 1,392 nomination papers were submitted for the 222 parliamentary seats and 117 state seats that are being contested in Pahang, Perlis and Perak, as well as one state seat in the Bugaya by-election in Sabah, which is being held simultaneously with GE15.
6 kertas pencalonan telah ditolak, iaitu 4 kertas Parlimen dan 2 kertas Dewan Undangan Negeri.
Pakatan Harapan PH has fielded the most number of candidates with 206, followed by Barisan Nasional BN with 178 candidates and Perikatan Nasional PN with 149. Only one seat is seeing a 10-cornered fight, one with 9 cornered fights, 3 constituencies with 8 cornered contests, and 5 more with 7 cornered battles. 24 other constituencies are seeing 6 cornered contests, 43 with 5 cornered fights, 82 with four-way battles, while 54 constituencies are having three-cornered contests and only 9 seats with straight fights. There were also a record number of independent candidates contesting for the parliamentary seats, with 108 contenders compared to just 24 in 2018. The EC has set November 15th for early voting and November 19th for polling. Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob is still the poster boy and the prime ministerial candidate for Barisan Nasional BN. He said nothing has changed as far as his selection as the candidate for the Prime Minister's post is concerned, adding that it was clearly decided at the last UMNO General Assembly and was endorsed by the party's Supreme Council in April.
Setakat ini tidak ada keputusan daripada MT yang mengatakan sebaliknya. Keputusan untuk saya menjadi poster boy ataupun calon Perdana Menteri selepas PRU 15 diputuskan oleh Majlis Tertinggi, diputuskan oleh Mesyuarat Agung ataupun PAU, Perhimpunan Agung UMNO. Dan baru-baru ini 156 bahagian daripada 190 bahagian membuat usul mencadangkan saya sebagai calon Perdana Menteri selepas PRU 15. Perkara itu tidak di-reversekan.
The UMNO Vice President also denied rumours regarding a statutory declaration SD to nominate another Prime Minister candidate allegedly signed by all UMNO candidates that went viral on social media recently. Dato Sri Ismail Sabri was speaking to the media after attending the candidate nomination process for the Bura parliamentary seat that took place at the Bura District Council Convention Hall on Saturday morning. On the Bura seat, the Prime Minister said there is no such thing as an easy win, despite being challenged by 2 new contenders. Dato Sri Ismail Sabri, who is up against Dato Asmawi Harun of Perikatan Nasional and Abbas Awang from PH, said he could not afford to take the contest lightly, as BN must not only ensure victory in Bura, but also across the country in order to form a new government. In the 2018 general election, Dato Sri Ismail Sabri retained the seat with a 2,311 vote majority. Khairi Jamaluddin, meantime, has made it clear that BN's candidate for the Prime Minister's post is Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. The BN candidate for Sungai Buloh said this when countering 3-term former Sungai Buloh MP R. Sivarasa's comment that a vote for Khairi means a vote for UMNO President Dato Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi.
Satu undi untuk saya adalah satu undi untuk KJ. Ya. Dan calon Perdana Menteri bagi Barisan Nasional adalah Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob.
Do you see this as a tough fight?
This narrative ini mesti diperjelaskan sekarang juga. Calon Perdana Menteri Barisan Nasional adalah Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. Satu undi untuk KJ di Sungai Buloh adalah satu undi untuk KJ di Sungai Buloh. Dan saya akan mendukung Dato Sri Ismail Sabri sebagai calon Perdana Menteri seperti mana yang diumumkan oleh Dato Sri Zahid sendiri. Ya? No confusion there.
Barisan Nasional BN Chairman Dato Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi is in a 4-cornered fight to defend Perak's Bagan Datuk parliamentary seat. The former Deputy Prime Minister will face Dr. Muhammad Faiz Naaman of Perikatan Nasional, Datuk Sri Syamsul Iskandar Muhammad Akin of Pakatan Harapan, and also independent Taufik Ismail. This will be Dato Sri Ahmad Zahid's 7th polls outing. He first won the Bagan Datuk seat in the 1995 national polls. In GE14, Dato Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi defended the parliamentary seat with a 5,073 vote majority.
Zaman untuk kita melakukan pengecaman ataupun pengutukan ataupun melemparkan fitnah kepada parti atau calon-calon pihak lawan adalah sesuatu yang telah berada di luar zaman kematangan politik, dan pengundi-pengundi tentunya amat mengetahui bahawa cara-cara itu telah ketinggalan zaman.
In its first bid for a parliamentary seat this time around, BN Deputy Chairman Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan is facing a five-cornered fight in Rembau after incumbent BN's Khairi Jamaluddin moved to Sungai Buloh in Selangor. Datuk Sri Muhammad's contenders are former Malaysian Youth Council President Jufitri Johar of Pakatan Harapan, Perikatan Nasional's Muhammad Nazri Muhammad Yunus, Ramli Awaluddin of Pejuang, and S. Tinagaran of Parti Sosialis Malaysia. With no incumbent, the Rembau parliamentary constituency will see a new MP after the dust settles from the five-cornered fight. The Rantau Assemblyman, who has been with UMNO for 25 years, was the Negeri Sembilan Menteri Besar for 4 terms since 2004. Meanwhile, MCA President Datuk Sri Wee-Ka Siong will be up against PH's Sheikh Umar Bagharib Ali and Perikatan Nasional's Muhammad Shafiq A. Aziz.
Seperti mana yang dijangkakan kali ini, saya berdepan dengan calon daripada Perikatan dan juga Harapan. Dan bagi saya, ini adalah satu saingan yang perlu kita bekerja kuat. Dan saya melihat kali ini keadaan tenteram semasa penamaan calon.
In Sungai Siput, MIC President Tan Sri S.A. Vigneswaran is one of 7 contenders for the seat in Perak. He will be facing S. Kesavan of Pakatan Harapan, who won the seat in GE14. The other candidates are G. Irudianathan of Perikatan Nasional, Ahmad Fauzi Muhammad Jaafar of Pejuang, and 3 independents, housewife R. Indrani, former Sungai Siput Perikatan Nasional Information Chief Baharudin Kamarudin, and businessman N. Raja.
Tapi ini tempat ni di Sungai Siput ni adalah satu pertandingan yang saya anggap hebat dan banyak ceramah-ceramah akan dilakukan secara besar dan juga kelompok.
Despite being announced as Parti Bangsa Malaysia PBM's candidate to contest the Segamat parliamentary seat, incumbent MP Datuk Sri Edmund Santara Kumar has withdrawn at the 11th hour. PBM Information Chief Zakaria Abdul Hamid said Datuk Sri Edmund had cited personal reasons for his decision not to contest in order to have a cooling-off period. It was reported that he plans to defend the seat to continue executing numerous people-oriented initiatives there for another term. Segamat will now see a 4-cornered battle between BN, Pakatan Harapan, Perikatan Nasional and Pejuang. And this time around, several seasoned politicians are staging a comeback in the GE, some even attempting to wrest the seat they used to hold before GE14. In the Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur, former Second Finance Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani is attempting to wrest the Titiwangsa parliamentary seat from PH, a seat he held before GE14.
Yang paling penting pengundi perlulah menjalankan sikit penyiasatan lah dari segi mengetahui setiap calon. Dia kena all of them have to do some research on each calon. Tengok dia punya track record, kemudian background dia, dan kemudian last but not least, kita sekarang ini berada dalam proses pemilihan wakil rakyat. We are not choosing a minister. We are choosing a wakil rakyat. So, obviously, rakyat ini dia kena tahu. Bila you nak pilih ni, you kena tahu lah. Kena check your track record.
And despite not being its member of parliament, Datuk Sri Johari had continued serving the constituency for more than 10 years.
The difference between the last election and this election, I never stopped service the constituency, even though I'm not a wakil rakyat for 4 years, 6 months. I continue to do my work and engagement with masyarakat through my own Yayasan Bina Indonesia. So that's, to me, there's no difference. The only difference is if I win, I can contribute much bigger scale in terms of devoting some of my experience to the federal government.
In Pahang, former MCA President Tan Sri Leow Tiong Lai is returning to try to wrest back the Bentong parliamentary seat, which he lost to DAP in GE14. Tan Sri Liao held Bentong and MCA stronghold between 1999 and 2018.
The young, the people who stay in KL, their parents are here. They call me. They say, Tan Sri, you can help or not? Because my father, mother is at home. It's flooding now. So we have people, we have volunteers here. We get ready our team to go down to the grassroots kampong to really help people, evacuation program. And more important thing, we have to put in place a flood mitigation project. It cannot be, because flood, we know it's always happened in Bentong. But during my term, the last four term I served, we have managed to minimize flood to the minimum. But last term, things happen again. So what I'm saying is that my focus also on flood mitigation project to ensure that we can resolve.
In Negeri Sembilan, former Deputy Education Minister Datuk P. Kamalanathan is making a bid for the Port Dickson seat as its incumbent, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, moves up north to the Tambun seat. Datuk Kamalanathan, a Central Working Committee member of MIC, lost Selangor's Hulu Selangor seat, which he had held since the 2010 by-election, to PKR. Former Transport Minister and former MCA President Tan Sri Ong Tee Kiat is returning to contest in Pandan under the party Warisan ticket. Pandan is a seat he is familiar with after being its MP for 2 terms from 2004 to 2013. In Perak, former Deputy Minister Tan Sri M. Kevias, who is also a former Taiping MP, is contesting in Ipoh Barat. He was also the president of deregistered party My PPP. Now, a number of key seats are expected to see tough battles, as well as high-profile candidates squaring off in multi-cornered fights in GE15. One of them is also the most crowded contests in the polls. Among the seats to look out for is the Batu parliamentary seat in Kuala Lumpur, which has 10 contenders vying to capture the constituency, the highest number of candidates for a single seat nationwide. BN's Dato' A. Kohilan Pillay, who is also MIC Vice President, is facing off not just the incumbent P. Prabhakaran of PH, but also former 2-term Batu MP Tian Chua, who returned to contest after being dropped by his party. Also in the mix is candidates from PN, Warisan, PRM, Pejuang, as well as independent candidates. Another key seat is Sungai Buloh, which will see a 7-cornered clash between BN's Khairi Jamaluddin, who moved to the seat from Rembau, against Dato' R. Ramanan, who replaced incumbent R. Sivarasa to retain the seat for PH, and Muhammad Ghazali Mat Hamim from PN. Other contenders are candidates from Pejuang, PRM, as well as 2 independent candidates. Also in Selangor, the Gombak parliamentary seat is set for a 5-cornered fight, with incumbent Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali from PN being challenged by his former party mate, Selangor Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Amiruddin Shari of PH. Also vying for the seat are Datuk Megat Zulkarnain Omardin from BN, Datuk Dr. Aziz Jamaluddin Muhammad Tahir from Pejuang, and Zulkifli Ahmad, who is standing as an independent. Tambun in Perak is also one of the hotly contested seats, which sees PH Chairman Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, who parachuted into the parliamentary constituency from Port Dickson, facing a 4-way battle. He is going up against incumbent Datuk Sri Ahmad Faizal Azumu of PN and Datuk Aminuddin Mat Hanafia, who is the candidate from BN. Also in the fray is Abdul Rahim Tahir of Pejuang. In Kedah, former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad is defending his Langkawi parliamentary seat in a 5-cornered battle this November 19th. At 97 years old, he is also the oldest candidate in the GE15. The Pejuang chairman will go up against Dato' Amir Shah Siraj of BN, Zabidi Yahya of PH, and Dato' Muhammad Suhaimi Abdullah from Perikatan Nasional. Standing in as an independent candidate for the seat is Dato' Paduka Abdul Qadir Sainuddin. Elsewhere in Kelantan, incumbent MP for Tumpat, Dato' Che Abdullah Matnawi, is also defending his seat, but this time on a BN ticket after being dropped by PAS, who has fielded Datuk Mumtaz Matnawi instead. The duo will face off each other in a five-way battle, which included one Muhammad Johari Wan Omar, who represents PH, Khairul Azwan Kamaruddin of Warisan, and Muhammad Asamari Che Ali of Putra. For BN's candidate for Sungai Buloh, Khairi Jamaluddin, introducing a new campaigning approach in the nationwide polls this time will make a difference in the constituency. The channel, called Team KJ, was to give the public an opportunity to volunteer during the political campaign, even if they are not part of a party. Khairi created Team KJ on November 4th through his social media to provide an avenue to Sungai Buloh voters to building a better constituency, and that's with their help. We met up with Khairi at an event in Damansara on Saturday night to ask him how the response has been so far.
We have close to 1,500 volunteers who have signed up with Team KJ for Sungai Buloh, and this is a fantastic response from people who want to get involved. I decided to do this because I feel strongly in giving people the opportunity to volunteer during an election campaign. They may not be part of a political party, but they might like the candidate. They might want to help in bringing about the change that the candidate believes in. So that's why we launched this campaign to get volunteers with us.
And what prompted Khairi to come up with this approach?
People came up to me and said, hey, we're not part of your political party, but we want to help you as a volunteer. Is there a way, is there a channel for us to help you as a candidate without having to join any political party? So that's why we came up with Team KJ in Sungai Buloh, because we thought we don't want to force people to join a political party. They just want to volunteer because they believe in what I want to bring for Sungai Buloh. They believe in the message, they believe in the change, and that's why we created this channel.
We now have Geostrategies Azmi Hassan joining us now live virtually. Welcome to Nightline. Let's begin with this. The race in this constituency is the most crowded of the 222 seats. The incumbent is, of course, Pakatan Harapan MP defending his seat. 9 others are challenging him. And we see even PKR's Tian Chua has taken the risk of being sacked from his party by contesting as an independent candidate. Now, what is so interesting about this seat, attracting a total of 10 candidates?
Yes, Raymond, I think Batu is going to be a very interesting contest. As you mentioned, 9 candidates will be eyeing to unseat the incumbent Prabhakaran. I guess it is because it's an urban seat. The demographic is fairly balanced, 40% Malay, 30% Chinese, and 20% Indian voters. But I guess, as I see it, why so many candidates are so interested in Batu is because of Prabhakaran effect in 2018. First time independent candidate won the seat, but again, it was with a lot from Pakatan Harapan help. But this time around, I think Tian Chua, for example, which is still PKR member, but running under independent seat, I think most of the independent are in for a good surprise in Batu. But I salute them for trying to spur our democracy, Raymond.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to Sungai Buloh then. BN's Khairi Jamaluddin appeared optimistic, but he also said that this is something very challenging for him throughout his entire political career, and he has come up with this new approach to engage young voters there, as we watched in our story earlier with Team KJ. His track record as a cabinet minister, now how will that come in handy?
I think only KJ can do that. Vote for me, and what one vote for me is one vote for KJ. I think that's KJ team's all about. Because from his previous assignment, especially in the Ministry of Health, I think he can do, I think, a lot of surprises in Sungai Buloh. Some say that UMNO want to kill him, but I don't see that by putting KJ in Sungai Buloh. I think UMNO, Barisan Nasional, has a grand plan. If you add KJ in Sungai Buloh, Isham Jalil in Shah Alam, Raymond, and plus Tengku Zafrul in Kuala Selangor, I think that's the grand strategy of Barisan Nasional. If all 3 of them, which is have their own specialty and aura, similar with KJ, I think they can recapture Selangor when the State Assembly is dissolved, Raymond. So I think putting KJ is part of the grand plan of Barisan Nasional to recapture Selangor from Pakatan Harapan, Raymond.
All right, thank you so much for your insights once again. That's Geostrategies Azmi Hassan. Always a delight to have you with us. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Raymond.
We're going for a short break now, but when we come back, more than a dozen dead in nightclub fire. Stay tuned. Front now. At least 15 people died, while 5 others were injured after a fire broke out in a busy nightclub in the Russian city of Kostroma. According to authorities, initial investigation revealed that the nighttime fire at the popular bar could have been started after a drunk man fired a flare gun on the dance floor. Decorative elements on the ceiling then caught fire, causing the blaze to spread instantly. Rescuers were able to evacuate 250 people, and it was reported that most of those killed in the fire had been found in the smoking room, utility room, and near the toilets. A criminal investigation has been launched, and police have detained a man in connection with the incident. In another development, North Korea fired 4 short-range ballistic missiles into the sea on Saturday, the latest in a blitz of weapons launches by Pyongyang this week. In confirming the matter, South Korean military said the missiles flew about 130 kilometers, reaching an altitude of about 20 kilometers. Saturday's launch comes as the U.S. and South Korea finish the Vigilant Storm exercise they began on Monday, which an infuriated North Korea described as aggressive and provocative. The flurry of North Korean launches has included an intercontinental ballistic missile and one that landed near South Korea's territorial waters for the first time since the end of the Korean War in 1953. The missile launches raised speculation North Korea could be readying for the resumption of nuclear testing for the first time since 2017. Dramatic victory from 10-man Kawasaki Frontale. Sports when we come back.
Beranikan diri untuk sahut cabaran agar impian mencapai.
a 3-2 win over FC Tokyo on Saturday at the Ajinomoto Stadium in Tokyo. Yasuto Wakizaka opened the scoring for Kawasaki in the 19th minute. However, 10 minutes later, they were down to 10 men after goalkeeper Jung Sung-ryong was sent off with a red card. Adilton dos Santos equalized for Tokyo in the 47th minute before Massinho restored the lead 14 minutes later. Adilton scored his second of the night in the 74th minute, and an own goal from Ryoma Watanabe 15 minutes to the full time helped Kawasaki to keep the lead until the final whistle, but still not enough for them to defend their title. Yokohama F. Marinos took the J1 League trophy after beating Vissel Kobe 3-1 in the away game. More to come after this breather. Automatic sacking for UMNO members contesting on rival party tickets. Stay with us on Nightline. Parties as independents will be automatically sacked. Its chairman, Dato Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, said the party has the right to sack any member, including those who are proposers and supporters of candidates representing the opposition.
Bagi mereka yang telah tidak terpilih sebagai calon, sebaliknya menjadi calon parti lawan, maka mengikut fasa-fasa tertentu Perlembagaan UMNO dan juga Perlembagaan Barisan Nasional, maka parti mempunyai hak untuk memecat mereka secara automatik.
Earlier during the GE15 nomination process, incumbent Arau Member of Parliament Dato Sri Shahidan Kasim and incumbent Maran MP Dato Sri Dr. Ismail Abdul Muttalib, both from UMNO, submitted their nomination papers contesting on behalf of Perikatan Nasional PN after they were dropped by their party. Another UMNO leader incumbent, Padang Besar MP Dato Zahidi Zainul Abidin, is contesting to defend the seat and also the Titi Tinggi state seat in Perlis, both as an independent candidate. As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look at Tokyo's largest amusement park, Yomiuriland's Jewel Illumination, an annual winter illumination featuring popular nighttime-only shows and attractions. With that, I'm Raymond Goh. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, Malaysia.